9 o'clock in the morning. Jesus has been turned over to be flogged and to be crucified. There's so much to say here, but let me just say this was probably the most physically excruciating thing that could ever happen. Probably the most physically painful thing that has ever been dreamed up by mankind. I mean, the flogging itself should have killed a man, and at times may have. Literally flesh being torn from Jesus' body. And then in his weakened state would be placed over his shoulders what is called the patibulum. It is the crosspiece of the instrument of execution. He would be forced to carry that patibulum over 100 pounds. He would be forced to carry it from the place of it being placed on him to the place of his execution. Several times over the course, it's been known as the Via Dolorosa, the way of suffering, the road of suffering. It is several times down that road, Jesus would stumble and fall, and he would probably have a Roman guard behind him, either beating him or whipping him, or just simply forcing him, get up, let's go. They were completely disrespectful of who he was. At one point, he falls to the point that he literally cannot get up. You can imagine, with the exhaustion, with the pain, with the loss of blood, he literally cannot go any further. And so they grab somebody from the crowd, Simon of Cyrene, who was just in the city that day, and they say, well, you carry the cross piece for him. So he carries it on behalf of Jesus. Jesus is then approaching Golgotha, the place of the skull, what we know as Calvary, the place where he will be executed. The guards have assembled what is called the stape. It's the vertical piece of the cross, and they would place the patibulum next onto the stape, and they would attach the two pieces together. They would then take Jesus and they would stretch his arms out as wide as they possibly could, and they would place nails in his wrists so that he would be held on the cross. And then they would slightly bend his knees and nail his feet to the cross. I can't even imagine the physical pain that he was going through in this moment. And then they would raise the cross into a hole that was intended for it to be dropped down into, so that it could be held upright. Probably not, gently placing it in that hole, but a significant jarring effect would happen as he was there. Literally the physical pain of his crucifixion. But there hangs Jesus, the Savior, the Lord, the Son of God. He's hanging on a cross. He's hanging on the most gruesome form of execution that probably has ever been dreamed up. He's crucified. Crucifixion was not something that was abnormal to the Romans. It was pretty common. But usually it was criminals who were crucified. Usually it was terrible people that had mistreated and hurt so many, or maybe had completely denied the Roman government, or even so many things. But this is Jesus, the Son of God. He healed people. He fed people. He gave sight to the blind. He made the deaf hear. He made dead live again. He's hanging on a cross because he's giving his life. He's making a painful sacrifice. He's shedding his blood for me, for you. Jesus is crucified. He will hang there for a good portion of today. It's something that we celebrate. And in this moment, let's feel the pain of the people that are gathered there. Let's feel the anguish of the moment. Jesus, the Son of God, is crucified.